There's a lot of ways to die in a game, from epic sacrifices to plainly stupid mistakes, asshole party members, newbie DMs throwing out a tarrasque way too quickly, or just plain old overestimating your luck on a roll. But everybody who's played long enough has had a really, really dumb death at some point. So D&D players, what was your dumbest death that you've ever had? Leave yours down in the comments below. Us D&D players can never really get enough. Whether you play 3 times a week or once a month, part of you always craves more. We get our fix however we can, by watching short stories online, D&D live streams, Baldur's Gate. Well, allow me to offer you something new. The best available follows a party of new adventurers trying to make a name for themselves in hopes of being sponsored in a competition. Waterdeep's Festival of Heroes, which sees the chosen parties delving into the depths of Undermountain, risking life and limb to suppress the evils and monsters below to protect the city above. The dungeon of the Mad Mage is filled with danger, treasure, glory, and mysteries yet to be revealed. Come watch the journey from humble beginnings into heroic legend as we adapt a campaign years in the making into an illustrated web series with art from Doodle Poodle, author of Tales from the Tables. We pride ourselves in converting hours-long sessions into smoothly paced episode with limited animation, music, blood, sweat, and tears. Get in on the ground floor of something great and join the Forever DM's table today. Link in the description. Had my lizard folk shaman cooking up the evening dish in the kitchen. Was fully into cooking, happy for fresh human stew. He goes in to taste the wonderful stew and the rogue on the party sneaks up and cracks him. The other players end up with a surprise round. He dies still sipping on the stew and never got to react. Failing perception while cooking is dangerous. Oh yeah, also my first ever character died because she tripped in the street, sliced her leg open on a broken can, and got it infected because the party was too poor to get it healed. What, no clerics on hand? One of my more boring characters died after he screamed at the top of his lungs in the middle of a crowded marketplace. What apparently happened was that everyone was so confused and trying to run away from the non-existent danger that they trampled my character, who was a gnome, to death. I was told Strahd's one weakness was love. So at second level, when he met the party outside the trail leading to his home, I embraced him in a hug and told him that I loved him. He bit me. That was actually really good. I climbed to the very top of one of those 200-foot tall jungle trees on Chult while my low-level party was being chased by huge swarms of sturges. You know they can fly, right? Says the DM. Well, I lured the sturges up and belly flopped onto the whole swarm. The suicide actually saved everyone. It happened in 2nd edition. My group was doing the usual cleanup after the boss battle, and just for kicks, I decided to jump up on the magic altar that the boss had been using just before we killed him. Well, unbeknownst to me, the giant activated the magic of the altar, and it turned me to stone after I failed my easy-to-make saves. Also, just to rub a little salt into the wound, thank you, DM. It was only my 3rd session with the character, so yeah, I didn't even get to love you very much, buddy. I was a 2nd level barbarian combing through a dungeon with my party when I saw a group of cultists ahead. I charged into the room raging and got nailed by a hold person spell from the evil wizard in the back of the room that I didn't see until it was too late. The cultist started to chop away at my HP, while my party just backed away. I failed all of my saves versus the spell, and was in the process of permanently dying. I also failed 2 of my death saves, when the rest of the party managed to drag me away and give me a healing potion. After that, I was the most cautious barbarian in the history of D&D. I died on a railroad back in AD&D. The DM used methods akin to invisible walls and kill boxes to force the players to do things as his story intended. I was the first to die to a second-story jump that somehow changed to the fourth story when the DM described how the first story of a standard inn was 3 stories high, a tidbit that was never revealed prior, but should have been obvious. After lame excuse after lame excuse for certain invisible walls, invisible wall meaning not allowing the players to do things that made sense to the characters, the other players lost interest in the railroad and the campaign never finished. Crushed by an armoire. Adventure is over, looting the castle. I miss a trap, and large and apparently heavy armoire falls on top of me. I was down to about 4 HP after the final battle, and that was all she wrote. My older brother was our DM. Never lived that down. It wasn't a death, but the only time we've had a party member in our current campaign lose consciousness was due to another party member's damage. Early on, maybe second level, we were sent into the nearby forest to deal with what was being described as a red dragon. That was scaring off all of the lumberers. We found and attacked the dragon, which turned out to be a fairy dragon, projecting an illusion of a much larger dragon. Well, our sorcerer attacks kept passing through the dragon illusion and hitting our cleric. Literally, the only time we almost had a party member die and 100% of the damage dealt to her was from one of our own. I was standing next to a wild magic sorcerer. Guess what? He blew up! Not me, but I accidentally let one of my party members die in a non-canon one-shot once. We were fighting a chimera in a cave, and our drow rogue thought he was being oh so clever and stealthy, using his brand new spider boots on the ceiling. Well, the chimera noticed him and he passed out up here. Neither myself, the cleric, or our party paladin could reach him, and he just kept failing death saves. He slipped out of his boots, fighter failed her dex check, rogue fall down, and go biddy bada boom, baby! Here's one where common sense simply failed everybody all around. I saw there was a gelatinous cube at the bottom of a 40-foot hole. I was mostly made for melee and wanted to get to the battle first. I was also a sorcerer. This is where things went wrong. Instead of going down the long stairs, I jumped down the 40-foot hole, and my health was a max of 10. The DM said, "Why? You can just take the stairs. You're going to die." I know, but I might not, is how I responded. I took over 20 damage. We were level 3. So there wasn't anyone who could revive me, and because I was in the hole with the cube before anyone else, it dissolved me. Literally just started, so we're level 1, and we just cleared the first floor of a dungeon. My girlfriend tried to save one of our other party members from dying by pouring a vial of mysterious liquid down their throat, which turned out to be an acid that burns through everything except for glass. Not only did it burn through the skull of our now very dead rogue, the DM calculated that the path of the acid through every floor of the dungeon, and where it burnt a hole through the throne of a very angry wizard by the name of Clarkosh. Have fun with that one when you meet him. This is not tabletop, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Years ago, there was an internet service called Delphi. It was sort of like Prodigy or AOL. It was an IP, but it also provided a certain amount of content. One of those things it had on the site was a game called Quest. Quest was a D&D based MUD. No graphics, all text. It was D&D at its most basic. There was a town in the center of the map, surrounded by a wilderness full of monsters. You bought your equipment in town and traveled the wilderness alone to fight creatures, get gold, and buy better equipment. If you died in the wild, you didn't respawn. You didn't get to keep any equipment. Everything you owned would lie there with your corpse for a certain amount of time and just disappear into the ether afterwards. I had a character named Saint Anselm, a cleric that I had leveled up and equipped pretty well. He met an untimely end though. and in a desperate attempt to get back their equipment that he had been carrying, I quickly created a new first-level character. I was going to just run out, grab the stuff, get as close to town as possible before dying, and then rinse and repeat. Since I had no hope of actually making it back to town with this character, I named him Dirk the Damned. I love that. Miracle of miracles, though. He made it back with all of St. Anselm's characters' awesome stuff. I began to adventure with Dirk the Damned then, and I was able to level him quickly. It soon began to seem that he could go anywhere on the whole map with impunity. Forests, hills, mountains. He could even swim in the ocean due to the magic armor he was wearing. All foes fell to Dirk the Damned. One of the things the game did was make little announcements when a character did something like, Dirk the Damned has killed a pixie, or Dirk the Damned has slain an ogre. Things like that. Then, one day while swimming in an ocean, I noticed something weird. The terrain for the game was basically just a set of letters arranged in a hexagonal pattern around a central letter, which was your character's current location. The letters represented the type of terrain. F for forest, H for hills, O for ocean, like that. Now, to move your character, you picked a direction, went to that location, and it became the new center point, surrounded by a hexagon of letters. Except suddenly, while swimming in the ocean, there was no longer a hexagon. I saw letters on the upper right, the right, and lower right, but none anywhere on the left. What did that mean? If I went to the left, would I end up on the opposite edge of the map? Or would it just say that I can't go there? I typed in the command to move left and hit enter. The game made an announcement. Dirk the Damned has stepped into the abyss. And that was the end of Dirk the Damned. He was truly damned. Or he went into the abyss and he's still down there waiting for you to find him one day, crazily, hungrily eating all of the corpses of everything he has felled. Dirk the Damned is Dirk the Damnedest. This wasn't my character, but totally my fault. Oh god. I play a tabaxi bard that is known for pranks. One of the members in our group was playing a cult leader that had some followers. Well, they couldn't make a couple of sessions, so me and a couple of the other guys in my group convinced the followers that their leader had died. This made the followers very depressed, especially one follower in particular who took it quite hard. When they came back, we were split from the followers, so he sent a letter attached to a squirrel that he could talk to and sent it to the followers to let them know that he's okay. Well, I may have intercepted the letter and changed it out with one that read, "Sorry for your loss." When the other guy found out, he left the party to go back to the town the followers were so he could reassure them in person. The squirrel, however, got there first. He reassured the followers except for the one that took it really hard, who was in the process of throwing himself off of a cliff. He then tried to save said follower as he was flinging himself off the cliff. However, this character had very low strength, and he rolled super low, killing both characters off the cliff. It was one small prank, just one small prank, that spiraled way out of control, and it led to his death. And you were forever banned from playing pranks again. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know down in the comments below. What was your dumb way to die? Dumbest way your character died, basically. So let us know. We love you all. See you next time. Bye for now.